well, Nancy, my sister, was being told, well, acoustic guitars are just out and
Right.
they're just so unhip, and that's her main instrument, right?
Right.
So it was uncomfortable at times.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
There's a certain amount of the record label's influence there, because it was the 80s suddenly, and things were changing fast. And we wanted to, we had just signed with Capitol Records, and they really believed in us, but they really believed that we should update our songs. So that's why we agreed to listen to a big pile of demos. We got this big bunch of demos from all different kinds of people, and a few of them were really great, like These Dreams and What About Love and Alone, and Lisa Del Bello submitted Wait for an Answer and Black on Black. And
was the record label like, okay, you need to get away from the organic or sort of 70s rock of, Barracuda, and you need to get a little bit more cannonball snare, be a little bit more poppy? It was the record label kind of pushing you that way?
Exactly, yeah. And it was more like, Nancy, my sister, was being told, well, acoustic guitars are just out and they're just so unhip, and that's her main instrument, right?
Right.
So it was uncomfortable at times, because we believe in what we do and we're true to ourselves and all that. So some of that was sort of Faustian to us, because we tried what they were suggesting, and we had number one hits,
Right.
So it makes you sigh and go, oh God, well, okay.
Yeah. And as a guitar player, for your sister, I'm sure it was like, you need to get away from the Les Paul and the big Marshall. You need to go Strat and a Rockman. You need that Mutt Lange guitar sound. We need to update you a little bit.
A whole bunch of keyboards and a whole bunch of effects and gloss and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say, and talking about Mutt Lange really quickly, one of my favorite songs from you guys is, of course, the Mutt Lange song that you apparently hate till the frickin' cows come home because of the lyrical content. Now, is that true? Tell the story a little bit about that song and how Mutt came in to, pitch you guys that song, and All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You. It's a song that you guys have never performed live. You sort of expressed your disdain for it in the past, but I'm kind of curious, like, what is the story about how that song came about and getting Mutt to write a song for you and everything? Because I'm a huge Mutt Lange fan, and I love hearing Mutt Lange stories.
Right. And I have no quarrel with Mutt Lange either. I think he's a really talented guy when it comes to writing pop songs and hits and stuff. He knows the formula, and he's good at it. The problem that I had, and to be honest, we did do that song for years. We played that song in our set forever.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And finally, I just got done with it, because it's just, you have to understand that song was initially written for a man to sing. And we flipped the gender around so that I could sing it convincingly. And as a woman who struggles against the objectification of women in society, I found that song with the gender flipped totally objectified men. And I just didn't like the feeling of being an objectifier. It was like really cold and hard. And to me, it wasn't sexy and it wasn't funny. It was just gross. But that's nothing against Mutt. He didn't write the song for a woman. So,
right. So out of all the songs you could have potentially gotten from Mutt, why'd you guys pick that one?
Because it has a great sing-along chorus.
Right. Writing this new stuff, how would you compare it compared to, the old school recordings? Is it still the same creative process for you, trying to get into the studio and come up with some cool stuff?
Yeah, well, each song is different, of course, but it's pretty much just the way I like to do things. I like to start with the words and then make a song with a musician and then go in and work it out. It's the songs don't necessarily arrive in the studio fully finished. They get finished in the studio, and I welcome other people's ideas for parts and everything,
Has the writing process changed over the years?
Yeah, I think I'm doing much more writing by myself now.
Mm-hmm.
I've always written with songwriting partners, and I still do so, but some of these songs are just me writing solo now, which is new.
Mm-hmm. How does that affect your writing? I mean, going in and having a collaborator, of course, it's really nice to have other people's ideas to contribute, but when it's just you, I mean, do you get self-conscious, like, oh, is this good enough? Or
Oh, of course, yeah. Everybody feels that their ideas are going to be judged. So at the outset of a songwriting session with someone else, you generally say, okay, we're going to leave our critics at the door. Nobody's going to judge anybody else. We're not going to make anybody else feel stupid if they brainstorm,
Yeah. Has that ever happened in a writing process? Like somebody's like, oh, and that just sucks.
That is so stupid. Not really, but you think that they're going to,
Yeah.
I think we're all like school children deep inside who are in class and who are scared to raise our hand,
Totally. Yeah, it's interesting to talk to songwriters about that because, they'll say, listen, every song that I write, it's almost like a child of mine, and I don't want one of my children judged, but then equally, It's the same thing for the collaborator, too. I mean, and if you can't find that groove,
yeah.
could get
There's
awkward.
all kinds of things that can be obstructions about the songwriting process.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.